My name is Dinakar, and I organize this as a volunteer as part of the Startup Ignition team with multiple startup companies and senior experts like Ajit and others in the group on various topics of business. So let me just share a brief presentation to introduce this sit chat, and then hand over to Arun to talk about his story. So the main idea was to really conduct this program once a week to give visibility to the members, and that has been the primary driver. And in doing so, I thought I would volunteer to do this. It's been 1 year since I've been doing this every Thursday at 8:30. This is a Zoom meeting ID which you can use to join in wherever you are. And the topics are of diverse interest. It could be on maintaining financial discipline, leveraging government schemes, validating the solution as a startup, developing an ecosystem, hiring the right people, etc., etc., etc. Next week, in fact, I have lined up a speaker to talk about how to leverage LinkedIn for generating leads. I'm sure it would be very interesting. And of course, we do get experts like Arun, who would be our guest here. But still, our recommendation is that you please consult your trusted advisors, trusted mentors before you start implementing any insight that you may have got from our chat show, because implementation may need some handholding. And there you would be very thankful to have spoken to your advisors and mentors. And today's topic is, I think I got the wrong slide. Today's topic is on concept to component, which is a topic which would be presented by Arun. He's a inventor and a kind of a, what do you call it, as a creative chap from IISc background. So comes with a lot of pedigree. And he would be talking to us about how he ensures that the concept gets generated to a component in industrial design. That's what his core activity is. Before I hand over to him, a very quick introduction about myself. My name is Dinakar. I am the managing partner of Samuthána Consultancoaching LLP, where we mentor and coach companies to improve their performance and grow. With that brief introduction, over to you, Arun. Are you there to take
Yeah,
over
I'm
and
there,
then
sir.
start talking to us about your story of how you create from concept to component and what do you offer as services, and at the same time to find out what kind of expectations do you have from our group so that we can help you out in your quest. Over to you, Arun. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, and I appreciate Mr. Dinakar to giving you this opportunity to, showcase at least our capabilities on what we can do in the engineering design field. Okay, so I've been just giving a short introduction about myself. I have been in IISc for almost about 18 years now, and been part of a group which was called as Advanced Product Design and Prototyping. And this group basically was into, technology development per se. And it was more of an industry interface between the academy and the industry. Post that, we moved on to start up an engineering design consultancy firm. So in that firm, basically took up contract innovation projects, took up development. We looked into adaptive designs and prestigious to all our clients. And we worked on, engineering design, end-to-end engineering design consultancy work, which is more of into, I would say product design and product development. Our core competency is more of in the field of, just product design, where, we bring in a lot of, aesthetics, we bring in a lot of ergonomics into a product that many of us try to, not to get into those aspects because they are a bit complex. And when we look at the adaptive type of designs, bring in ergonomics is always a little bit of a complex attribute to a design. So at Engineering Design Consultancy, that's the firm that we basically right now work from, work on a platform where we basically look at completing the entire design cycle. Now, at what I mean by design cycle is that when we talk about a new product design, we always rightly go and search for products on the net, or look at some benchmark products, and then we just start off creating CAD designs and kind of things like that. But some of them what miss out, and which we always try to focus on is before we getting into a product design activity, we always try to do a market research, trying to find out what the product, the what does the market basically asks for in a product. And as you would see that there are many products which basically work on patenting their products and getting their products registered. So we basically look at designs where we do not try to get into a direct competition or infringing anybody's patent, kind of things like that. So we basically start off with a very basic market research, understanding the product, understanding the market in which the product basically is going to be fielding in. So when we do that, we basically find out a lot of data. We collect a lot of data about a product which we need to design for a new market. Engineering Design Consultancy, the firm that I work with I own, is that we always take up products which are completely new to the market or new to the industry. We always try to avoid trying to re-engineer or redesign products. We look into always products where we can basically come out with a feature that, or a product that would stand out in the market. So that is the first thing that we do, a product study, and then we work on the the ideation, the concepts phase, because
You went on mute, Arun.
a lot of data that we collect before we start getting onto the sketchboard. We have a lot of information from the product study that we do from the market, and understanding the standard and requirements. So based on that, coming up with a new product, new concept is quite simpler, because we have data and standards with us, what we understand. So we get into a lot of design for aesthetics. We design products for the human factor. We designed products which has basic mechanisms and some electronics filled into it, to making it a proper electromechanical product. I want to show some slides, but unfortunately I was not able to connect from my laptop. So
No problem. You send it to
me.
You send it to me. I will show it from my screen, from my computer. You can send it in the WhatsApp if you want.
Yeah, I can do that. I can send that to you by WhatsApp. Okay. So getting onto the, we work on the ideation phase, because I wanted to show you some of our concepts we basically, which we have been working on. I do have we do have contracts where, we cannot share concepts that are being generated for an industry and things. So whatever I'm going to show you now are concepts that basically, have failed in the market, okay? Or concepts which are basically written off and they are not, taken up by the clients because of various reasons. The final
You
concepts
send
that have
something?
been approved. Yeah, I'm just sending it to you in a minute.
I the, whoever who have been the other on the chat, please have patience. So sometimes it happens. So and the other thing is, it's important that we see the product designs that possibly would give us a better idea as to what kind of work that Arun is doing, which I think would be very important for us to know that, and also for the community to know, so that we can uh, get into some kind of an engagement.
Yeah, because I really want to show you some designs that, are really think out of the box. That is, we were able to do that is only because of the product study that we have done before we start a design.
Sure, you sent it already.
Yeah, it's
Still going, is it? Okay.
unfortunately why I don't know why my system is working
Or you
so
can also
slowly.
send it by email, whichever is convenient to you. Anyway, by the time I get those files, Arun, I had a couple of questions. We can possibly discuss that ahead of the slides. First is you basically work on aesthetic design, is it? Not on the functional design.
We are when we to talk about product design, it is very difficult to stick only with aesthetics because aesthetics does not. We have to work with the aesthetics and the functionality of the product.
So you're also looking into functionality.
Yes.
And mainly
That,
engineering products or consumer products? Because
no, we look at every product as an engineered product. Because even if you look at rack that you basically have in a market is also a part of a product that
correct,
is engineered.
correct. And for example, you do finite element analysis, flow simulations, or 3D
That is,
modeling and things like that.
yes. Yeah. See, we basically do the finite element analysis and kind of thing is only to evaluate our product design.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Arun,
But
one
I
question.
remember somebody telling me that in Channapatna, I don't know whether it was through IISc. You said you were from IISc. They were talking about introducing some Bluetooth in the Channapatna toys, and having some kind of recorders installed there, where you could talk to the toy and it would reply, with some kind of a voice recognition. And that really gave a boost to that industry, where the toy industry was more or less dead, is what I understand. I don't know whether you did anything in that area, which involved some amount of mechatronics, because there were some hand and leg movements in the toys, and at the same time, when the baby would call for a parrot, then it would sound like a parrot or something like that. Somebody was mentioning this to me.
Creativity can come in different forms.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Okay, because the one of the things that we have done for the toy industry, I would say, is a bubble toy. It took its shape of a genie. So as the genie, rubs his stomach, it throws out the bubble.
Oh,
It
okay.
has a lot of electronics in which takes care of the vibration.
Okay. So now let me get into this and then share the screen and show your presentation. And you tell me when I need to go to the next slide. View full screen mode. Yeah, there you go.
Yes, sir.
Everybody
We
can
can go to
see?
the next. Yeah, we can go to the next slide.
Okay, once again, I just hide this floating panel and then minimize this so that it won't cause a problem. Yeah. Hello?
Yeah. So this is just a brief what I was talking about is the contract innovation that we basically do. What I mean by contract innovation is taking up projects which is basically in a contract ways. Okay. So
Okay.
this is the expertise that I was talking about. This is actually the right way to do NPD, a new product development. And this is the cycle that we strictly follow. We talk
Very good.
about sorry.
Very good, I said. No, very good.
Yeah, so we talk about the product study, we understand the product completely, then we go into the ideation stage where we start generating the concepts of the idea. It can be anything. It can be part of the human factor, ergonomics, aesthetics, mechanisms that complete the entire product. Once we do that, that's where then we migrate into generating CAD models where we actually give the right dimensions for the product. And the next phase is, all of us know that, we need to have physical products before we can evaluate a design, physically, because most of us, when we have handheld devices like toys and kind of things like that, we have to hold it in our hand for us to evaluate it. And as I said about the FE analysis, the next part, the design optimization, we basically do a design a finite element analysis only because we wanted to evaluate the design, do a value engineering. Value engineering can be in terms of weight, reducing cost, reduce number of parts, reducing the assembly cycle. Many of our times, why we do the finite element analysis is only because of one, we can reduce weight and reduce the part count. Then once everything is approved, then we get into the manufacturing stage and then we start supplying. Only thing is the manufacturing and the component supplies is basically done by vendors. It's not done by us, by say. So this is where I would say that EDC would basically work on the entire product cycle when we take up an innovative concept. Yes, sir, we
Here
can
you
go to the
say
next.
talk about carbon fiber manufacturing also, right? You
Yes, sir.
are specialized in that. You do
We
the
have designed
composites also.
parts. Yes, we designed parts to where we can utilize this carbon fiber manufacturing things. For example, we have designed the helmets for the Sukhoi helmets for the DRDO.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
I will not be able to show any of those images because it's this.
Yeah.
Okay,
Go
but
on.
I can talk about it.
Yeah.
So the outer shell is completely a carbon fiber part.
Okay.
And usually the trend is, the outer shell is always made a single shape for the entire fleet. But
Okay.
here we customized it and made it, the outer shell for each single pilot.
Mm-hmm.
Optimizing it and making it more, ergonomic for the pilot to use.
Okay.
There are features why they are, added in, and why we make them customized is because there is an added advantage there. I will not be able to disclose much. Okay.
That's
But
okay.
carbon
You go on
fiber
to your
is,
concepts which would be interesting.
yeah. So the next one would be this is one of the concepts of a video laryngoscope. This is a medical device, okay, that basically gets into our mouth. to lift up the larynx of thing before they can they insert the endotracheal tube. You can go to the next slide, sir.
So here you can watch the entire esophagus, is it?
Yes, you can. We do have 2.5 dia camera inserted into this system.
Oh, very good.
Okay, and this is you could see the whole of the camera, but since the camera was customized, we are not able to disclose the details of the camera. But at least I can show you the outer shape of it. So the green was the tube that basically gets into the mouth, after inserting of this laryngoscope. So we can go to the next slide. Now, these are the prototypes and the displays. Just to prove our concept, this is one concept of a mask. Usually, traditionally we have the normal masks that get into our thing where is used by for asthma patients, kind of things like that. But here we try to make something really different. But unfortunately, be very honest, it failed. Okay, we try to trap air into the mask to bring that flexibility and comfortability to a patient. That's why you would see at the bottom, the white bottom part, it has the ergonomic shape, and it is air trapped inside the mask. That's actually a hollow tube. On top of that, this blue one that you will see, it is basically a hollow tube. It's hollow. It's just having no air. This is one of the concepts. You could go to the previous slide. So, and on top, we try to have a plastic part where we can go to the next slides. I can show you better in the next. Into the next one. So this experiment was basically, where we try to prove the concept of the laryngoscope, the mask, and the cap. Unfortunately, the mask failed because we had limitations on the manufacturing. So because we could not have a complete hollow tube kind of a mask fitting on it. So we had to break it into two pieces to attach it, but then it did not work. But what I'm trying to show you about is we tried to bring in, a new feature, new concept of how a mask can be actually designed. So we can go to the previous slide. So the plastic part basically is the same thing, but you would see a very wide opening on your right-hand side. That opening was basically to insert the laryngoscope and the endotracheal tube. The current procedure that is used by doctors right now is they have a mask to resuscitate, to give that oxygen. When they insert this laryngoscope, they basically take out the mask, insert the tube, insert the laryngoscope, insert the the endotracheal tube, remove the laryngoscope, and put the mask back. This concept that we have tried to work is you do the entire procedure without removing the mask, and without, because once you remove the mask, you're putting the patient in high danger because there's no oxygen pumped into his lungs. So, but this concept was basically made so we use the patient would still receive the oxygen and will also receive the procedure for doing the insertion of the endotracheal tube into his windpipe.
Very good.
Unfortunately, being very honest, this failed.
Okay. Good.
This was, innovation and creativity. This another concept is basically, where we tried to. This is also another anesthesia tube. So it basically has two pipes, two openings, two valves. So we try to convert this entire thing into one single system. So you can go to the next slide, sir. This is one of the concepts which are basically completely rejected. So basically, it has only one system, 2 tubes and single operation. But the actual one has 2 tubes, 2 operations, two valves. Here, it just has one valve. This is where the value engineering comes into the picture, not the aesthetics of the product.
Correct.
Here is only functionality. Nobody's interested about the aesthetics of it. This is where the engineering part of it comes. When we do the analysis, then we understand the functionalities. When we do we did the CFD analysis for it to understand the flow, the construction, the flow patterns. And then this concept was basically designed to do that. So this had a single operation. This one is, sorry, this was a very old concept. This was the charging for the electric vehicle. It was basically an aesthetic design, but because of the copper things, it was made into a bulky system. We can go to the next slide, sir. Next, these are all the copper parts of it. This is also what we made the prototypes tested. This is the sanitizer dispenser. This was purely only the aesthetics part of it. We did not try to do any mechanical functions to this. This is only an aesthetic design. We can go to the next one. Okay, so on the right-hand side, you would see the basic, construction of different ways of how we can assemble, construct the entire system. This is an engineering and an aesthetic problem. The one that you see on top is a DRDO project, which I did almost about, could be around 10 years back. It was a resuscitator. Basically, an army guy would carry, oxygen cylinders to a wounded soldier in a war field on the ground where they don't have any medical facilities. So before he reaches the medical facilities, he has to be resuscitated. And the first part of the thing was basically concepts that were generated where a soldier would basically carry a resuscitator, carry oxygen cylinders to resuscitate people. This was not engineering, but it was more on aesthetics. Value engineering that we did was only reducing weight of the system. The next one was some general devices, that some home automation systems, that these are all purely aesthetics that come into picture, nothing to do with the engineering part. And this is the infrastructure of our vendors who are under the manufacturing sector, sir. Okay, this is not owned by us, or we don't do that. This is the only thing to show that, okay, even when we take up a design phase, when we take up the engineering, when we complete the entire product design phase, it has to be manufactured, because we've seen that many of our clients have taken up and gone away to China and Taiwan and things to manufacture. So we always try to showcase, this is all in Penia, sir. This is all in Penia. So we try to showcase, saying that in India, in Bangalore, in Penia, yes, facilities are available. You can go to the next slide.
I think that was the next one.
This is also one of the Doom assemblies that we did. We did just the engineering part, and then our vendor did the manufacturing part. But we had to coordinate with each other, because each part, the tool designs is something that we had to complete and give it to them. So this was just the complete assembly. Yeah, this is for the fiber optic lines. So what I would like to share with everybody is, at EDC, the product cycle is something that we basically look at. The product design phase. The study and the ideation phase is something that we focus more on, where we give a lot of importance to these two phases. CAD and optimization and the prototypes are part and parcel of a design, but the two phases of the product study and the ideation phase is something that we give a lot of importance to such things. So our thing of me coming here was showcasing, saying that EDC, yes, has a lot of capabilities on designing and completing a product. So that's where we come from. And in fact, there are a couple of faculties also from IIC who also support and guide us.
Mm.
So
Okay.
that's
Now, you
what
could tell
we
me,
are.
Arun, first of all, thanks a lot. It was really outstanding. A lot of knowledge and a lot of high-end wisdom and competence here. Now, you tell me, what kind of uh, clients do you have? Are they investors or are they companies, or what kind of clients do you have?
Uh, I've still not interacted with any investors, sir. Most of our clients and most of the people who we work with are people who basically want to introduce a new product in the industry.
Okay. Now, do they come from what? Did they come from industry? They're from industry or from academia, or they're just
They are
investors?
mostly if you look at the video laryngoscope, okay, it was not in industry, but they were two doctors who had this idea and they wanted to make it.
Okay.
But if you look at the other parts, like the sanitizer, they were, sanitizing companies who wanted to make a sanitizer for themselves with having their own brand name. Because
Okay.
right now they used to buy these dispensers from outside. So they
Okay.
wanted to have something on their own, have their
Okay.
own, their own brand or their own
Okay.
product.
Okay.
So we designed something in their line of business.
Okay.
And of course, DRDO, whenever they have things, we always go back and we get things done for them.
See, there is Darshan who's asking you to get your contact details. May I give him your number?
Yes, please, sir.
Sure. Okay. So Darshan, there you have it. I'm sending it in the chat. Also for the others. Now, one is the clients. The second is when you look at the activity which you have done, it is mainly some kind of a contract R&D, right? You have not really ideated and created a product of your own, have you?
Fund is a very big issue for us. If we have to develop a product by ourselves, fund is always a very big issue.
No, one is having a fund for developing a product, which means hardware and all that. Now, even before that, your ideation, right? When you look at the idea and because whether you have a hackathon or ideathon or whatever they call it in today's world, the ideation is extremely important to find a solution to a problem.
Right.
There are others in our group who do something similar to that, design and ideation, etc. Are you also involved in that? In terms of, let us say, if somebody gives you a problem, would you be in a position to develop a solution to that problem?
Yes, that's exactly what we do, because I'm not very keen in going and identifying a problem, because identifying a problem is something where the industry would better know that, because they are in the industry for this number of years. So they will know what their products are, who their competitors are, what type of products the competitors come up with, and something like they would know where they lack or where their products are failing. So those type of companies basically approach us to solve some problems of theirs, or even to create something new that does not infringe any of their competitors' products. But mostly, yes, it is contract R&D that we look at, and we do not get into identifying a faulty product, or we identifying a new product for an industry. We
Have
do
you
not do
also
that.
looked at trying to see if we can create products to work on the behavioral aspect of human beings?
ISC does, but no, we've not got into that.
Like something like, let us say, a kind of a buddy, for example, electronic buddy who would be always there when you are in bad mode and things like that, or like something like the Alexa, or something like the Google unit. I don't know what it is called as, where you can speak to that and it will reply back to you. Such things you are not ventured into, is it, in terms of electronics?
No, I've not ventured. That is the adaptive designs that, no, we have not ventured into that. That calls a lot about software development kind of things like that. No, we try to restrict a lot of things to only
Engineering
mechanical or electronics.
Mechatronics.
Mechatronics.
And also with embedded software possibly, right?
Yes, embedded software would be part of it.
Would be part of it.
Not, something like Alexa and kind of thing, using AI. No, that's something that it is not in our purview. We don't have that expertise.
Okay. Now,
Software is
what is that you expect from us?
I'm trying to showcase our capabilities and, to seek for, any problem statements, any of them, have issues in their products which they want to address, or, they have any new product development, ideas, or they have a concept in mind, but, if they're unable to, conceptualize the idea, I would say.
One of these days, what I can offer you is, one of these days I'll come with another client of mine by name Gautam Surana. He is possibly one of the best I've met in terms of concept marketing.
Okay.
He keeps introducing new products continuously, and has a lot of energy in trying to fish out products for the humanity, or you can say. So we at some point of time, we wanted to create a kind of a perfume with EVA plastic, EVA-based perfumes. But that didn't really work out because, if you go to the Bangalore airport, in all the urinals, there is a kind of a yellow color filter kind of a thing at the bottom, male urinals. It's basically some kind of an anti-splash device.
Yes.
And that is with perfume. And
yes,
that is what
it
they
has
make.
perfume.
You can see that next time when you go. It's called as Echo 365. That's the name of the company.
I know about that.
They do those plastic pieces, and that is made with EVA, which is porous. And we tried doing similar things for perfumes. The industry, I believe, in China is very strong in terms of doing such perfumes for the bottles. For example, if you have a orange juice can in the supermarket, then the cap of the orange juice bottle will be done with this material, and the orange perfume will be added on to that. So when you go to the supermarket, you pick up that, and you can smell the orange perfume. So that's the way the Chinese are able to sell their various items. It could be orange, it could be jasmine, or if you go to buy a shampoo can have jasmine smell instead of, so you can smell the lid. So that's something which we want to do. We tried multiple things, but it really succeed. I'll introduce you to him, and maybe we'll come and meet you. I'll touch base with you offline. With that, do anybody have any question, any comment, any suggestion to Arun? Yeah, Ajit, go on. You're on mute, Ajit.
Yeah. So Arun, suppose now you had tried some things and they have failed. If somebody else works on it and it gets approved, can he make it as his patent?
Sorry, can you repeat that again? That just broke for me.
Suppose you made something and you left it. Somebody takes it and works on it and makes it workable. Can that become patent?
As long as the attorney basically looks at who's the inventor.
Somebody else takes it, the same thing, and I'll give an example. Let us take, I'm into pharmacy. So, ranitidine, which was for acidity, was produced for 350 rupees in America by Glaxo. And
Ajit, your voice is breaking continuously. I think there's some problem in the Bluetooth connectivity or whatever. Please go on.
Yeah. So for 35 paisa, India produced it. What they did was, Glaxo used to do it in 10 steps, 10 processes, And India did it in 4 processes. Cost came to 35 paisa. Where is 350 rupees? Where is 35 rupees? And Glaxo took Ranbaxy to court, saying that, this can't, it is not possible in 6 steps. But Ranbaxy won the case. They couldn't prove it wrong. You got the case, what I'm trying to tell you.
No, that's always there, Rajit. The one C is always there. If you, I can also talk about my experiences from Bosch or between Intel and AMD. It's always there. Once you do, he has gone done some design, and then I do some modification, and I say that my design is based on his design, but it's a different design, different concept. The principle is because the scientific principles are more or less the same. It's the way you applicate the scientific principle. So my way of applicating is different, and therefore it would be a different thing.
Oh, so then it becomes a different thing. That patent has no.
No, because the moment I say that he is the inventor, like what he said, then the patent office would like him to be the inventor. I can't be the inventor. But if I can take his patent and then modify it the way I would like to, and then create a new patent, then it's a different thing. In fact, many of the large companies have a very interesting strategy called as patent research, which is a very glorified word for copying. They are basically, and it's done in big scale. Okay, there will be at least about 30 to 40 people continuously doing research on patents every day. Every day, new patents are being filed. They look at the patents and see what way that can be leveraged, and at the same time see if any of their patents are being infringed because of a new patent which has come up. So both the jobs they do. So it's a very popular industry, not very common. Therefore, one has to be very careful in patenting itself. What is it that you are patenting?
Very true. Like,
you want to add anything? Whatever I said, please.
Yes, what you said is very right. Yes, there are many firms that basically hire these people only to do a patent research. The patents that we hold, are very basic when it comes to India. I basically have 3 patents, which are very basically in doing it in India. But generally, the term what we always face by many people is the patent infringement. There are cases where we have done a product and it's on the shelf, but somebody else has got into it, tweak the design, and they file a patent, and the attorney basically grants that to them. Because it does not infringe. Basically, a patent is given when it's something where it's a very new creative product or a creative idea, but is not made anywhere in the world or in India. Now, if it's going to be tweaked and then, if it's going to be named a different design, the attorney always gives the patent to them. So patent infringement is a big challenge that everybody faces. So we basically have an attorney where we offload this work to them and tell them, saying that when we do the product study, these are the features of the product. They basically have these keywords and kind of things like that, features of the product. So we basically do a patent research before we even touch a product also. So, because when we talk about product design and, innovative design, infringement of patents is very, very common in this field. So you can always tweak a design and your product's in.
Yeah,
But when it comes to application wise, it's a different ball game.
Yeah, absolutely. So anybody else have any question, any comment, any contribution?
Tell me, are we Indians, we are known as Jugaad, like that. This RMC mixer machines, all lorries go straight. This can go 45 degrees, travel 45 degrees. And an Indian has done it at 10% of the cost of the Italians. How does this Indian money work? I'll give you another example. 2 months back, a 36,000 rupees capsule being sold by a buyer in America, produced in India for 150 rupees. What is this? What type of drinks we Indians have?
There are many creative things that I have come across over this 25 years of my career in this field. Okay. I would say yes, the US has, charged a bomb on for it. But for us, we look at it as a very simple, design, a very simple part.
Where is
You know.
36,000 rupees? Where is 150 rupees? I mean, I just cannot understand. It's a new anti-cancer drug, and they are making a big noise in America. How can Indians produce? But already some company in Hyderabad has started producing it.
See, the same is true with vaccines also, right? Vaccines, if you look at it, the cost was enormously high. And the reason why the cost is high is not because the manufacturing cost is high. It is basically to retrieve the R&D cost which they would have invested. So when you are doing reverse engineering, you are basically taking a solution which is available in the market and trying to develop over that, right? So as long as you are quite creative and innovative, you can bypass that basic and then develop something which is a little different. And that's the reason why it becomes cheap. The 36,000 rupees, I think, is not for the manufacturing at all. They would have possibly checked out the R&D cost and engineering cost and then try to distribute it over some volume. I remember when I was in Bosch, we used to sell the software for the ECU. ECU is the electronic control unit. And the electronic control unit is the one which controls the engine in a car. So we would give the ECU, and the ECU would come with the software. So the manufacturing cost of ECU would be maybe about 50 euros, 50 to 60 euros. But the ECU is sold at 1,600 euros. Because along with the ECU, you have a software, but the software cost is also very less, manufacturing cost. Because once you have made the program, it's only to load the program onto the ECU. ECU is electronic control unit. To load it onto the ECU is also very simple. You just connect to computers and then transfer it. It takes about 10 minutes to transfer the file and load it onto the ECU. And the ECU manufacturing would be about 50 to 60 euros because it would involve some chips and components. But the ECU sold at 1,600. Nobody knows how the entire thing. The entire intelligence is in software. And for the software, you have invested a lot in developing that software, not for the manufacturing. So the same thing would be the case in the pharma industry also. In many cases, I think that they take more than 30, 40 years to develop a drug. A molecule will take 30 to 40 years because once you develop it, then have to do the clinical trials, and after that you have to file the approval applications, and multiple steps are there, right?
Now it has come down to, it used to take 30, 40 years, now it's about 8 years.
8 years, is it?
8, yeah.
8 years. Oh, okay. Oh, very good. Very good. And have you done in that space also, Arun, in terms of anything in biomedical engineering, or you still doing something? Medical devices?
Medical devices, yes. We have done a lot of medical devices, but not for the pharma industry.
So I'll tell you one idea which I saw when I was in Germany. See, there are people who meet with an accident. That is the reason why they developed that. Now it's a big business, I believe, in Thailand. So these guys, when you have an accident, many a times one of your leg is shortened for whatever reason. So you can see people wearing shoes with different height of soles. Have you seen that in the outside in the market?
Yes, there is.
So
yes.
for them, each one leg is not a little higher than the other leg. Okay, for whatever reason, it could be congenital or could be because of an accident. So there, these guys developed based on a Russian technology. I believe in Russia during the Cold War, that is quite a few decades earlier, they wanted to build soldiers who are very, very tall. So therefore, they did a lot of experimentation. And what they did was you basically cut the bone. Okay, you slice the bone, cut open your thigh, your calf, and then cut the calf bone. And then you just pull it a little, leave it there. And I believe then the cartilage gets developed. Okay. Cartilage got developed. Then once the cartilage is developed, it's very soft. That you again pull out a little. Then you pull out a little, pull out a little. like that 0.5 millimeters per day you need to pull, then I believe you can pull up to 10 centimeters between the knee and the ankle. Similarly, between the knee and the hip, you can pull 10 centimeters. So you can get somebody to grow 20 centimeters taller by doing that activity. You understood? That means you cut the bone and then keep pulling it. Now, this particular activity is very difficult because how are you going to, once you have cut the bone, a person cannot walk, right? So if you can go to internet and check it out, they had a kind of a contraption which was really very cruel. They would basically tie up the bottom end and the top end of your leg to a kind of a clamp on the skin, and the skin would take the load of the body. That means if you have to walk, you have to walk through that. Very, very painful thing. So these Germans came up with a fantastic product where you now bore a hole into the bone from the heel. That means it's a very simple surgery. You put a hole in the bone from the heel and you insert a pipe. And this pipe basically has a stepper motor, linear motor in the center. And through that, it is basically expanding slowly. Okay. Now, this motor, once you have fixed it into the bone, then you leave it there for 1 year. During the year, you are walking normally. You don't make out at all because there is nothing cut there. And after 1 year, you become 10 centimeters taller because it's done between the knee and the ankle. This was done for them to help the patients who are having different levels of their feet. They have the product in Germany. I believe the insurance company also has accepted and approved to use that device. But the biggest market they have, you know where? In Thailand, where the transsexuals and the girls use that to increase their height. I believe it's a kind of a package which costs $100,000 to go through that procedure.
Oh, okay.
$100,000. And this company was growing phenomenally well. Like that, I don't know. See, this is something which I wanted to start in the SIT group itself, but somehow it didn't happen. I tried it with a couple of people to see if we can get some people together to start ideating in terms of trying to find out what kind of products can be developed for the problems that we have in our society, either in the SIT itself or through the SIT platform, to go to the colleges and conduct hackathons or ideathons where they can talk about solving problems which you have in the society. And from there, we could get ideas. And these ideas can then turn out to be products for you, for example, to design them, to develop them further. So from my side, I do two things, Arun. One is I'll talk to the guy who runs Echo 365, connect to him, and also maybe both of us will come and visit you. And the other one is wherever I have anybody who's interested in developing, designing, I'll connect you to them. Then they can see if they want to use your services. Okay.
Sure.
So with that, if nobody have any further questions, comments, thanks a lot. Thank you very, very much. And today, since Ajit is the senior most here, please take over the role of Amarji and then give us your final words, Ajit.
Okay. Today, what is very, very...
Ajit, I think your headphones, microphones are not working there. You directly talk to the computer, it will be the best.
Okay, now you can hear. Hello.
No. There is a kind of a break in between. I'm not sure whether it's because of the Bluetooth connectivity or.
Let me see there.
You choose the computer inbuilt microphones.
Okay, 1 minute. It says too many files are open. That is the reason it seems. 1 minute.
If you click on the link, the arrow mark next to audio, it says select a microphone. You can select the microphone array, or then that'll be smooth.
Okay, now can you hear me? Now it is better.
Now it is much better. Yeah.
Yeah. So my Zoom was open, So it was clashing. Okay. Thank you very much. It is very, very essential today. Unfortunately, our whole teens and youth are brainwashed to work for marks. And here is a different thing which tells us to uh, be innovative, renovative, creative. What's more important is the ideation, which is not promoted in our institutions. Can you hear me? Because here it is
Yeah,
showing
very much.
audio.
Very much.
Yeah. So it's so very nice, Arun. Thank you very much. What a wonderful stimulation. And, prototype, designs, tag. It was nice to see all those things which you have made. Actually, I never knew that you are looking for some innovation. You're also thinking of aesthetics and ergonomics both put together. Not only from the utility point of view, but looking also from the patient point of view or the utility point of view, and the product, the design, the productivity. The last question I want to tell after is when you design a product, Arun, when you're going in for mass production, is there a difference and variation? Is there a possibility?
Once you get into the mass production,
See, suppose you make one prototype, right? You're making 1, 2, 5, 10. Now, suppose suddenly the company is going for 500. It doesn't matter, right? So, or the mass production could bring about a change.
no. Here, before we get into the manufacturing thing, we finalize the product, dimensionally, because when we talk about manufacturing, for plastics, we use a plastic injection mold. Okay. And that is quite a costly process. That, we cannot afford, to make errors in that field. We can make errors in the design field where we can go back and correct, but it becomes a very costly process to go and correct a mold. So once the part is done, once our tool designs are complete, whether it is the F41 or F44, or the mass production of 500 or 1000, the component still remains there.
Thank you very much. And
yeah,
and now you realize how Arun is able to talk to people like me who don't know much about engineering. Thank you very much for the wonderful explanations and giving a bird's eye view as to what exactly innovation, renovation, aesthetics, ergonomics. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed, and I'm sure everybody who was present has enjoyed too. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody. And
Thank you so much.
Let's touch base next week with a chat on how to leverage LinkedIn for generating leads. It's a little generic topic than what we did today. But today I really loved it, Arun. And as I had spoken to you, if in case you already touched base with Naveen, then Anjan, it would be really nice. Otherwise, we can meet up again. Because Anjan ran a company similar to yours for a long time. So I'm sure he would be able to give you more ideas. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Yeah.
Thank you. Bye-bye.